In the last 25 years, 10% of the world's land has been lost and has become sand. Just imagine if at this pace, if we proceed in the next 50 years, what would be the condition of the world's land? We've desertified so much of land. 71% of the world's land is partially or fully agricultural land, out of which 50% of the land is at the verge of desertification. This is what is happening. If I utter the word Saudi Arabia, you might say desert. 10,000 years ago, it was a rainforest. Rajasthan, in India, around 6,000 years, it was a rainforest. It was a lushy forest. That is how the world changes. At smaller scales, it has happened in the past, but at this scale, it is happening for the first time. And the sand is spreading everywhere on the world. This is a disaster. So do we want to sleep in this disaster or do we want to act? In democracy, there are only two important factors, two things that matter: your vote and your voice. If you don't speak about the future well-being of your children, if you don't talk about it, if you don't understand this while we insure money for our loved ones, what about the insurance of food, water, and their safety from extreme temperatures? This has to be taken care of by us. No governments will take actions if we don't want it. We cannot just make sure that let the government do their job. They will look after my children and their food and their water and their atmospheric conditions at that time. No, nobody will do it because the nations, the governments in the nation, they need people's mandate. Where is your mandate? If they don't get your mandate, they will not act on those policies which will save and preserve their food, your children, your family's food, water, and the temperature of the atmosphere. Until unless there's a single pointed action taken for the soil rejuvenation, there's no life that we can expect in future for our children. Life on the planet would cease to exist because soil is not a resource, it's a limited source. If we don't make sure that we keep it alive, by keeping it alive, what we mean is the organisms in the soil, the microbes, the worms, they have to be living. They have to be alive for us to have our foods and our water. If they die, the soil that we call after their death is desert. And food doesn't grow on desert. A rainfall doesn't happen on desert. It doesn't absorb the water through rains as well. The soil, when I say save soil, I mean to save the microbial life in the soil who is starving to death and their food is organic content. There's no substitute for organic content that we have. It's plant shade, trees, animal waste. If the land is devoid of it, the land will die. We are murdering the land right on this very moment because we are hardly caring about the invisible life on it, which is responsible for the food and the water that you have. So take proper actions on this, and your action is your voice. Until you speak about it, you ask for it, you keep asking for knickknacks, that would not help your future generations to come with their food and water. Act now, save soil, let's make it happen.